Hi everybody, it's Catherine from In the Pink Designs. My project today is one, I just made it quick. It's rather small. It's 2.5 by 4 1/4 by 1. And inside are my trick-or-treat giveaways that I'm giving this year. They are Mini Rice Krispies Treats. I love these. I just saw them in Walmart today. I think it was $11 for 60 of them. So that's a pretty good deal. So I'm using the Bag of Bones bundle along with the Them Bones Designer Series paper. And I also used a 1 3/4 inch circle punch. Okay. So this is my host code. Please put that in for any purchases under $150, not including your tax and shipping, and I will send you a little gift. And please subscribe and hit the like button. I would appreciate that. Okay, so what we need, I cut from the Bag of Bones dies 3 bats and the fence out of basic black. Now this box I did was Starry Sky Cardstock. This time I'm going to switch it to basic black. All right, so we need a scrap of Starry Sky for the sentiment, a scrap of basic black for the little cat. We need that 1 3/4 inch circle from Daffodil Delight. We need 4 pieces, and all of this was basically my scraps. 4 pieces of the Them Bones Designer Series paper, 2 that are 2 1/4 by 3 1/4, and 2 that are 3/4 by 3 1/4. All right, and you can get 2 of these out of each sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, which is a great thing. All right, so let me get my Simply Scored. And we're going to start on the 7.5 inch side. And you need to score at 1, 3.5, 4.5, and 7. Turn it a 1/4 turn to the 5.5 inch side and score at 1, 4.5, and 5. Alright, now I'm going to, the skinny rectangles are on the right and on the top, and that top one I'm just going to fold back just a little bit. And then all the rest of it I'm going to fold and burnish with my bone folder. Okay, again, the skinniest rectangles are on the right, and there's actually 2 at the top. Okay, and then this strip is 1 and this strip is 1. And what we're going to be doing is this. All right, not too much. Okay, so we're going to start down on the left. We're going to go to the first score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge both sides of the square. Go to the next 2 score lines and cut them to the first score line, and then wedge both sides of this square. Okay, go to the last score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge up into that skinny rectangle there. Okay, turn it the other side. Now the double skinny rectangles are on the bottom. And we're going to start over here again. Go to the first score line, cut it to the second score line, and then wedge up into that skinny rectangle. Alrighty, go to the next score line, cut it to the second score line, and the next score line, cut it to the second score line. Get rid of this rectangle on the bottom, and wedge the rectangle on both sides. Okay, go to the next score line, cut it to the second score line, take off the rectangle on the bottom, and wedge the rectangle that's left. Okay, now take a corner rounder and round the corners of these top 2 flaps. Okay, this is what your cardstock should look like after you're done scoring and cutting. Okay, now take your tear and tape and put it on the side skinny rectangle next to the score line. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool to take the backing off. Okay, flip over the whole thing, flip over the side with the tape, and then flip this side over to meet it. This is our back with the seam. And I'm going to put a little dot of glue on each one of these tabs. I'm going to pull the back up to me and then push the front flap forward. And just run your fingers along the edges to make sure that everything's straight. And then put your bone folder in the bottom to make sure that those tabs stay down nice. Okay, and that's your box. Not too hard. Alright, so now we need our DSP. This is the Them Bones, 2 that are 2.5 by 3.25 on the front and the back, and 2 that are 3/4 by 3.25 on the sides. And I'm going to put them together on with liquid glue. Okay, now we're gonna let that dry a minute and do our stamping. So we need our 2 pieces of cardstock. Let's do, I'm gonna get a piece of scrap, put that down, and we need Versamark ink. And I'm going to do the cat first. Okay, these are pretty small, so I'm not going to use my stamping platform. Okay, and then I'm just going to sprinkle some white Stampin' Emboss powder on it. Great. Okay, and then we need, put this away first. And then we need the Starry Sky and the Boo to You sentiment. I'll sprinkle that one. Great. Alright, and then I'm just going to get my heat tool. Alright, I'm just going to point it up first to heat it up a little bit. And then I'm going to heat the images. Okay. And I already have one cut out. I used the Them Bones dies to cut that little kitty out. And I'm going to cut around this by hand. All right. Okie dokie. So let's bring our box in, and I'm going to put my little Rice Krispie Treat inside. And first I'm going to put the moon, which is again a 1 3/4 inch circle. And I'm just going to put it with about the same border on these 3 sides and put it on with liquid glue. Okay, and then we need the fence, and I'm going to put the fence down with just a little bit touching the bottom of the moon. And I'm going to put my cat sitting on this upper rail right here so that he's in the moon. Okay, and then the 3 bats, I'm going to just, instead of dipping them, I'm just going to put 1 dot and then pull it a little bit. I'm going to put 1 up here. And then this one that has its wings up over here. And this other one right over here. Okay, and then we're going to put the sentiment down right here. And I did it in the Starry Sky so it would kind of blend into the background DSP. Okay, Alrighty, so now we need, I'm using an 1/8 inch hole punch. You can use whatever you like. And I'm going to punch 2 sets of holes for my ribbon. And this time I'm using glittered organdy ribbon. Okay, and then I'm just going to tie a bow in the front here. Okay, and then for the final touch, I'm going to use the 2022 to 24 in color jewels in the Starry Sky. And I'm going to put one, oops, right under where the cat is on the fence. And one over a little bit lower. And then I'm going to put one right up there. Okay. And that's it. If you have any questions, my email is below, along with the link to my blog that has all of the directions. And there's a link to my Stampin' Up! Shop where you can buy all of these. And also the link to my Facebook group, where I'll put certain announcements up on there about sales or free shipping offers and things like that. Alrighty, have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye.